18. That's the number of goals scored in this week, game week 9 of the English Premier League. That's quite boring. In fact, that's very, very uninteresting. But this is not uninteresting. This is your base. This is Fanbase. Welcome to another edition. My name is Babajide Guerrero, and it gives me great joy to always know that you guys are there waiting for a new edition of Fanbase. Our guest is inside, Bayo Salau. That's the name of our guest today. So yes, let's go get up close and personal with Bayo Salau. We continue another episode of Fanbase today, and we want to thank you very much for always being there. Welcome to what is going to be an interesting, more than what we saw, at the game week 9 of the English Premier League. Our guest, like I said earlier, is Bayo Salau. How are you doing, sir?
I'm very good today.
It's good to see you. It's been a while, but I've been trying to reach out to you, but it looks as if you're even other than the president of the country these days to find. But it's a good feeling to see you anyways.
I feel feeling here today.
Yeah.
I know it's been long months of Sundays,
Yeah.
and one who can begin to look at a whole lot of things as to why that's been. But I know definitely obviously know why exactly it's been that way.
Absolutely.
But now I'm quite happy that you're here with me.
Yeah.
God has made it so.
Absolutely.
I'm quite glad.
Absolutely. So yeah, let's get right into it. Of course, Bayo Salau is one of the finest football minds in this country, sports mind, I dare say. But let's just go right into it. Not quite interesting activities we saw in the English Premier League this weekend. Just 18 goals, like I said earlier. In fact, just 2 games had 3 goals altogether. One was Aston Villa taking on Brighton and Hove. That one ended 2-1. Another was Leicester City defeating Burnley. And in fact, there was just one away victory all through the game week. And that one was seen between team Manchester City going all the way to Selhurst Park. And again, it looks as if it's that particular weekend where not so many goals were scored. But in our featured games, Bayo, let's quickly look at Arsenal. I've seen you recent time talk about Arsenal. You like their play philosophy. You like the kind of players, and especially a staunch supporter of Cesc Fabregas. But what exactly is Arsenal's problem? Is it an Unai Emery problem or an Arsenal problem?
I think for me, this created background, to this problem with regards to Arsenal. And the problem is not far-fetched. One begin to look at when Wenger left off, and of course when Unai Emery kicked off. I mean, these are 2 separate incidences, but you could begin to tie to these particular problems, because I see it as a problem. Because Arsenal, for all we care, I mean, for a lot of fans who are enthusiastic about seeing Arsenal changing style, what they wanted is someone who could make them look like a progressive team. And then making that turn, it doesn't look like that to me. Because Unai Emery is still finding it a little bit difficult to know exactly the way to go. Yes, we've gotten a Nicholas Pepe, who for me came in on a high, some £2 million. The pressure is almost on the back of the young Ivorian to actually deliver the goods. And we've seen that repeat itself almost every time at instance. But the big question at every time Arsenal failed to do almost what people think as the regular that we used to see. You will understand that they talk about Mesut Ozil suffices.
I was going to ask you. I thought you were not going to go there, but it's a good thing you've gone there. Which coach is normal, that is okay in his head, and is very fine, that you play Bukayo Saka, you play Willock, and then you have a Mesut Ozil that is very fit, and I think there's a personal beef going on.
That's what I'm saying. Unfortunately, everything looks very much ambiguous. Nobody can actually come out in a straight sense to tell exactly what the problem is.
This is it, yeah.
Interestingly, Ozil itself has not said much, as to why exactly he's not been playing or featuring in most games. I want to also tie this to some few, perhaps giggles and knocks that he had in recent times, but he's never, maybe you should say that's a fact, that Ozil has missed a total of 101 games, as Arsenal playing since he joined in 6 years ago. And in these 101 games, hardly could you tell that Ozil had gone for a lengthy period of time, except once in 6 years. And you begin to look at for a player who at some point had the record highest number of assists in the Premier League up until date, 522. And you begin to understand that in 522, the index of having to give results, for Arsenal side, rates over half of what Arsenal has seen in terms of winning in the last 6 years. And that is how hugely important it is to the team. But I don't know. I understand very much he has this sporadic languor, trying to be slow to play, but you cannot in any way deny of his creativity, his immense artistry when it comes and when it's really in his football. But Emery would have to come out to tell exactly. When he was questioned after this loss to Sheffield United, and the first answer he gave was he's very good and we always need him, and when we need him, we always call at him. But don't you think at this time it's the time we need it the most. They are almost in a dire strait. They need to start
Absolutely.
giving answers.
Absolutely. What we'd like to say, or rather, what I would like to say is, if any coach in the world has Aubameyang, Lacazette, Pepe, I think the key that should play behind those guys has to be Mesut Ozil. It has to be Mesut Ozil. It just has to be. We don't need to go to coaching class, to understand this. With that wealth of talent in that Arsenal team, I see no reason why they cannot be challenging for titles, at this time. But another team that really has gotten themselves into trouble lately, has to be Tottenham. What thing they happen? They can't beat anybody at the moment. They're like Man United.
They can buy win.
I know exactly. I mean exactly, because you look at them, it's worrisome because I'm a huge fan of Pochettino. I think he's a very decent manager. I don't think he gets the respect he deserves. But aside from that, there's a problem in that Tottenham team. Somebody says it's infighting, other players, it's affairs, players having affairs with each other's girlfriends or wives. But whatever it is, by your Salah, they need to nip it in the bud early enough. If you can't beat Watford had Troydini injured, Watford has been losing games. Our street selection will beat Watford at the moment.
Julian, that's how I'm about to tell you. I
Yeah.
think, to summarize all of this, the one big problem that we've not been able to actually see, but I think the analysts should allude to the fact that there is no coherence in administration down to management. It's that simple.
In Tottenham at the moment, yeah?
Tottenham at the moment. So it's either ways. I'm not too sure what exactly. I'm not staying in England, but I can say for a fact, just like I said, that I will tie all of this to maladministration and the understanding there's a disconnect between the owner of the club and perhaps the technical crew members of the club.
It's very, very possible. I think I can agree with you any less on that. It's obvious that they are in 6s and 7s. Tottenham always be that. They used to be the best of the rest. And then they left into the top 4. They became a T4 team. And then they left all that best of the rest to the likes of Everton, now Wolverhampton these days. But they need to do more in terms of getting better results. Well, this particular fixture coming up with this weekend will be a true test. They play Liverpool. We'll get into preview that game when we get to that corner. And finally, the reason why I'm wearing a Man United jersey today, I'm sure the fans will be wondering what's going on here. The reason why I'm wearing a Man United jersey today, guys, is because Man United did not disgrace me this week. We were not outrightly shitty this week. We actually had a lot of heart in that particular fixture. But again, the hoodoo goes on for Jurgen Klopp. He still cannot defeat Man United at the Old Trafford. It's still quite difficult for him. And Liverpool, they did not step up. Now that's the problem. I was telling somebody some couple of days ago that how will you say you want to win the league, a 38 marathon kind of league, and then you cannot beat the weakest top 6 team? United is the worst team, maybe in the top 6, maybe even the entire league. They are that bad this season. We've been that poor this particular season. And you play United and you cannot win. If you cannot win, and you're saying it's because it's Mo Salah, but in all of this, I think it's because that rivalry feel comes in, Bayo. Sometimes when big clubs play themselves, regardless of how bad they've been doing, they are never overawed by the occasion. They enjoy the particular occasion and they step up to the plate. Maybe that was what happened for United.
Maybe, and maybe that's why they've not actually won themselves a league in almost 29 years. The last time they actually lay hands
Liverpool,
on
yeah?
such silverware was in 1990. And that was under the tutelage of Kenny Dalglish. Kenny Dalglish, without doubt, he came in at some point in between the Premier League era, just once, I think some 5 years ago, to actually coach Liverpool because they thought he had the magic power. He had perhaps the perfect touch to actually bring the back or renaissance of sorts back into the right team. But I've always said to a lot of persons who care to listen, in these 29 years, Liverpool have actually tried as much as they can or they could to get their hands on the silverware. In 2002 to 2001, 2002, prior to going to the World Cup in Korea, Japan. In 2014, for that infamous incident that happened with Gerrard, and just last year, 2017, 2018, they were almost closely looking like a team that could challenge for title. But they look almost like the nearly men. So what exactly is the problem? The problem is not far-fetched. We know that at these different times, we had different managers who were, of course, on top of the game. At the time, when Liverpool were having the first shot at this Premier League title, was Gerrard Julian's tenure. After that time, we said under Brendan Rodgers and now under Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp came in on a high, but he had told them, if going by his words, that it would take about 3-4 years for him to get a silverware, even in his 3rd year or 4th year, I think.
And he has the Champions League already.
Who says maybe that's the needed impetus for them to actually do almost the unthinkable. I use the word unthinkable because they're almost looking like the nearly men. But this time around, you ask questions. We are supposed to be on a 17-game streak, winning streak, like a team was not lost. And one would expect Tottenham to make it, Liverpool make it 18, new rival Manchester City. And that way you and Manchester are almost tied, but you still have another gauge of 21. which Man United and Tottenham are of course holding on to.
Absolutely.
So all of that looks like it's been chased. So you begin to ask questions: is it that Manchester United was so good, or because of the antecedent of the rival, like you mentioned, was what actually got him over? You know, not being able to, because for all the entire 90 minutes, he was too dramatic on the sidelines. It's been long I ever saw him in such shade, you know, for parents. And I begin to question, what exactly is he raging for? Is it about the VR? I look at the position. It took me for another day. That my position is that the human error, the human element will always almost go over, or be, you know, reign supreme over the incident of
technology. And all. Yeah.
But we are where we are, and that's a topic for another day. But the truth about the matter is that we are now there. It's been spotted that it's not a penalty, even though claims could be titled to say, okay.
Do you think it's a penalty though?
I think it was a penalty.
Okay.
And you begin to look at it's discretionary at this point. The ball touched his hand, but was it the hand that it touched first? It was his chest. And it was
something like his shoulder.
Shoulder down to the hand. And that's instinctive in every sense. You could not, you know, players were very, very tricky.
Yeah.
But I think, because we saw the eyeball, I was looking at that from my own point of view. I looked at the eyeball, the aerial ability to actually put the ball down. And at that time, it was not even the best of comfortable position. So it would have been tugged, like we saw, something would have happened.
So many things would have happened at that time.
For me, if you have seen much of the other characteristics that make up that goal, than the little part of just being a handball. And beside, it was not held, it was a flick. It's mere distance, but of course, that's gone. Like
absolutely.
So coming down to Liverpool in the entirety, Liverpool have to do more. They need to take the game in numbers and take in terms of physical strength and want.
Oh, well, at the moment, they have, what now, 6 points? 6 points better than Manchester City. Manchester City have closed that particular gap because they were not able to defeat Man United at home. Well, yeah, so Man United can, I think from a United fan angle, I think it's high time they stood tall. They can pick up, maybe. It's good to see Martial back. It's good to see Daniel James get into the thick of things.
I'm sure he's already training as well.
Yeah, so I don't think they have a bad team. I just think there's something wrong with the mentality of those players. But like you said,
maybe just like Roy Keane mentioned in one of the punditry shows we had over the weekend, he actually was making case for getting a proper striker, and you can't blame him for it. For every time he's played, or while he was in Manchester United during his sojourn,
he had proper strikers. Roy Keane had proper strikers.
In 1995, when they had chased Alan Shearer, at some point in 1999 or so, they got an call for themselves for a record fee. In 2002, they got themselves a record fee. 2004, a record for a teenager, Wayne Rooney. It's always been an antecedent, a precedent laid by Manchester United.
They also had,
to do well. They have to just pick the bank to get the goods.
They had a Ruud van Nistelrooy at the time too. It's interesting. So other fixtures include Everton winning. Marco Silva needed to win that game. Else, I'm at his sack here down. They would have sacked him long ago. Everton 2-0 over West Ham United. AFC Bournemouth had a draw against Norwich. If you can't beat Norwich, then again you have another problem in your team. Aston Villa, like we said earlier, defeating Brighton and Wolves 2-1. Chelsea, having hit the bar, they were owing the god of iron money, and that one decided to take it out on them. But it's good thing for them is that they won that game 1-0. Leicester City 2-1 over Burnley. Jamie Vardy on the score sheet. Tottenham Hotspur still can't get out of that rut with a draw against Watford. Wolves couldn't do a lot of things against Southampton. That ended in a 1 goal apiece. And meanwhile, Crystal Palace at the Sellers Park lost to Manchester City. You know, a lot of our top players in the FPL had very, very, very difficult week, including myself. You know, I had what now, maybe 31 points at the end, and that was the same number I did last week. This week's average was 30, and while there was the highest point in the world was 98 with a man who used his bench boost. But the interesting thing about this particular FPL is that, this FPL week rather, I'm advising you guys, it is a very risky thing to have more than one Man City player. It hurts me. I couldn't cry over the weekend. I had Otamendi had a knock, he didn't play. I had Sergio Aguero. In fact, I was part of 1 million FPL managers that had Sergio Aguero, and another 200,000 of them had him as their captain. Guess what? No point at all, because he didn't play in all of the entirety of the 90 minutes. Well, as well as Kevin De Bruyne, who was my vice captain. I think the thing about City is the rotational policy. If you are aware of that, you should know that it's not safe. So bye-bye, Nicolas Otamendi. You're going to leave my team this particular week. I got to bring in another lesser and high effective defender. Is it right for you to sell Aguero now? No. Do not sell Aguero right now. Allow Aguero to still be in that team because they're going to be playing Aston Villa and of course Southampton in the next couple of games. It's home game and Aguero has scored more of his goals at home, than away. Big ups to the likes of Daniel Ings, who cannot stop scoring for Southampton, doing quite well at in front of goal. And of course, he made it into the dream team this particular week. And shout out to Bounty Hunter. I'm tired of calling your name on the show. Bounty Hunter still tops, our FPL. Do you want to know where I am on my own FPL? Yes, 8. 8. Yes. Very sad. I started being top of that table, but hey, I'm going to come back, very, very shortly. And so we're throwing it to you guys. The code is still very much on your screen. So also is all the social media platform of our show, Fanbase. Do what to follow the conversation. Join our FPL code as well. And guess what? You may win yourself some fabulous gifts. Who doesn't like gifts? Man, I like gifts. I don't know about you. Well, Bayo Salah is waiting on the other side for the conclusive part of the show, the preview. We'll be right back. Review ticked, FPL ticked is only remaining one more segment, and that's got to be the preview. Well, big game this particular weekend, maybe one of the biggest in all of Europe. This particular weekend we'll see Liverpool play Tottenham, and at the same time other juicy, very, very juicy fixtures in the English Premier League. Southampton will play Leicester City, Manchester City will play Aston Villa, Brighton and Hove will play Everton, Watford will look to pick up confidence as they got a point away at the Tottenham Stadium. They will play AFC Bournemouth. West Ham United will play Sheffield United. And Sheffield United these days, they are getting W's everywhere, even against Arsenal. Burnley in our featured game will play against Chelsea. Newcastle, the Magpies, will play against Wolves, and Arsenal would hope to load their guns with a lot of bullets as they take on Crystal Palace. Liverpool in our featured game will play Tottenham. And finally, Norwich would host Manchester United. But let's just go straight into our featured games by Salah. Burnley, Chelsea. You have a feeling that there will be a lot of goals on the part of Chelsea in this one. Why so?
If you look at Chelsea, I think Chelsea started like out on fire. Unfortunately, the first game they lost in the course of the season against Manchester United. And that's the last time they considered as much as 4 goals with beyond 2 goals. It was surprising though, but when you look at the outplay, you almost have the feeling that Chelsea, if they run a continuum of the kind of tactics they deploy, perhaps they would have something to actually share.
Well, hopefully, from the Burnley perspective, they need to get Ashley Barnes back. Although he's not been scoring a lot of goals this season, he had started the season quite well, but unfortunately for him, he got injured. But he looks like that player that can get in his own. He understands the defensive and the physical part of even being a centre forward. But they've been able to get the best out of Hendrick, I beg your pardon, as well as Chris Wood, who's been doing quite well. But I still call this one a Chelsea win. I'm seeing 3-1. Okay, Bayo said 3-1. I think it's going to be 2-1, and that's because I think actually Barnes will score because of my own FPL. But meanwhile, last week I got one of my predictions correctly, especially, in fact, our featured game, Man United, Liverpool. I said it's going to be 1-1. I indicated they're going to kill Man United and maybe 3-1 or 4-1, but I said 1-1. Ayo, call me Octopus Guerrero. So let's talk about Liverpool, Tottenham at this time. Tottenham cannot seem to put a leg right. They're in trouble. This particular fixture could be one thing for them or two. Bayo, it could be either the turnaround for them, where they can monster everything they can, amass all their resources, their mindset, their mentality, their know-how, put it in the game and turn their season around. I mean, they're finalists for the UEFA Champions League. That should count for something. But again, it could be that fixture where it is all down and out, because Liverpool could rip them apart if they don't show up that day.
I mean, we talk about Harry Kane, one of the biggest stars in the football and one of the finest strikers. He didn't make his name elsewhere. He was with Tottenham. And it was under the tutelage of Mauricio Pochettino. Same with the Dane, even though he was at some point, a big player in Holland. He came down to England and it's never decimated. He has been growing in leaps and bounds. So these players have to pick up the pieces, put the differences aside, and concentrate and see how best to suit their manager. That way, they can begin to see Tottenham to concede less. I mean, how do you write the script? Tottenham losing against Colchester? Come on,
yeah.
That's the height of it.
It is.
This is one of the things that we need to put aside, and then we begin to get the results. If they can do that, I'm sure they are almost going to look at par in trying to challenge Liverpool for that particular 3 points on Saturday.
It's going to be a huge one. It's actually on Sunday, but regardless, but it's going to be a huge one, especially for Pochettino, where his head is, where the head of the player is. If at all they are still daring to do things at sports, because that's their mantra. To dare is to do at sports. So yeah, for us here, we've dared you to sit with us for this long on the show. It's been an absolutely enjoyable time to have a conversation with D Bayosalau. Thank you so very much for coming on the show. We want to say we'll do this definitely sometime in the future again.
For sure.
Absolutely, guys. One thing you should look forward to is an amazing show, especially going forward, because as it gets hotter, it gets even more interesting with Fanbase. Remember to follow us on all our social media platforms. It's right there on your screen. Yeah, somewhere there. It's scrolling. As well as the code for our Fanbase FPL is still very much there alive. So how about you join, and then you stand a chance of winning important prizes from courtesy us here at Fanbase. We want to thank you very much for investing your data again into today's production. My name is Babajide Guerrero, and as always, this is Fanbase. This is your base. We'll see you again next week. Bye for now.